Bones were my experience this time. Seriously, I have never heard this story properly, but I know there has always been a debate between the origin of man from the biblical perspective and also evolution and other methods that I think there's the African way with other tribes and things like that, but this time I had the experience of learning about the belief of the Liki, the people who have gotten the research and they've done the research on the bones. So if you want to see what I discovered, don't go away. Watch to the end and enjoy this.
We are Turkana Basin Institute. It's a research institute that is based around Turkana, both East and West Turkana. We are more concerned in scientific research and the recovery of material that talks about human beings. And what we are focused on is understanding who we are as human beings, where we are headed, and where we came from. And Turkana, Turkana Basin has contributed so much in terms of understanding human evolution. Whatever you see here is like 70% of all the skulls that have been discovered in the world that talk about human evolution. It's either you come to Turkana Basin to understand who you are, and that's why we are so proud of being the crown of humanity, the crown of mankind. This is what talks of our history as human beings. We begin from Miocene.
Where? The first one?
No, we begin here. Those are stone tools. We will be headed there, but we want to begin the story of where we were, where we are, and where we headed. We are going to extinction, as I will be demonstrating. But right now, I'll be talking about what at 19 million, 14 million, 13 million, 6 million, all the way to 100,000 Elias Springs. I'll be giving you the history of where we began and where we are headed to. So I'll begin with the 19 million apes. The apes. Generally, we are all apes. Basically, that's why we are hominids, but we are separate from. There's the mentality that people say that we are monkeys and all that. They should separate that monkeys and apes. We are apes. 99.9% DNA with the chimps and gorillas. We share same DNA. They make stone tools, we make stone tools. We basically whatever diet they eat is what we eat. So basically we are the same. It's just about using stone tools that our brains have developed. That's why we are who we are right now with our big brains. So at 19 million, this is how we would have looked like. And this is an evidence recovery that was found in Calocol. Basically, that's why we call it Calocolensis. And we give it that species name specifically because it was discovered here in Calocolensis, and it's a 19 million. And then we have at Middle Miocene, there we are early Miocene, now we have Middle Miocene. Middle Miocene, we are talking of Alesi. It's a Turkana name. We gave it Alesi, which means ancestor. And it's the one and the only ever found baby of 490 something days, and it's the only Miocene ape that we can relate to in the whole world. And by the fact that we have done the CT scan, you can see how it's developing, the teeth and all that. And the good thing is that before we found this one, there's no way you could tell how the 13 million year old ape, you want to know where did I come from? How would a baby at 400 days look like? We gave this evidence. There's nowhere else in the world you'll find. It's the one and the only. Luckily, we found it. We have been there to the site multiple times, hoping to get the mothers and others and the father and all that, but we haven't. But for now, this is what we have, and it's the one and the only. It's safely at NMK. Vote to see it. You have to get actually from the cabinet. Keep them safe. It's the one. But today, without it's good, the people have to understand the richness of what they have here. Turkana has contributed so much in understanding the human evolution, where we are and where we are headed. But they don't know how rich they are. It's upon us, TBI, to bring these things out here, engage with them, let them understand they have value. This place has contributed. It can have all other calamities that happen here, but in terms of understanding human evolution, they have contributed so much for us. And as Kenya, we don't give them that justice. We don't take time and understand and appreciate what they have given us. I'm talking of 70% of all the scars in the world that talk about human evolution come from Turkana Basin. And when I say basin, I'm talking of from Ireret, the other side of East Turkana, West Turkana, all this, it has contributed so much. All the dots, the red dots you see there, those are the sites that we work on, and all what we have discovered. From 1968, when Richard started this work around the basin, up to date, we are discovering, we are doing so much of the research. The next thing that I might be talking about is this Kenyapithecus. Kenyan man, that's why we call it Kenyapithecus. A Kenyan man with a flat face, platyops. Kenyapithecus platyops.
With a flat what?
Face. You see, he has this this is a flat face. We don't have flat face. Basically, throughout evolution, we are losing the flatness of the face and investing so much on brain size development, something that can hold big brains. So basically, we have to do away with that. So for the first time, when we discovered this one, there was argument on whether we have Rusi in Ethiopia, and by then there was that, the idea that we are all in one lineage of evolution, such that you evolve from, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo sapien, and that narrative. But once we discovered this one, we discovered Anamensis from Anam, which means water. When we discovered all this, it shows that there was multiple species coexisting together, and this is one of them. And the other thing we appreciate about that time period is there was the question of when did we leave the trees. We know the apes were living in the trees, but us, we don't know where. Bipedalism is when we walk on toes. When did that begin? Until the moment we discovered this tibia, which clearly can tell you this is somebody who walked on toes, and this is Turkana boy tibia. You can see clearly you need supporting something to support your body weight. If you are walking on toes, you have to invest so much on what can support your body and the balancing and all that. That's why you see it has some, you can see that it's angled to support your body weight. So basically, when we discovered this at 4.2, we listed the case on at what time did we leave the trees to become bipedal. So this was a very, very important fight to make sure that we get to understand at what time period did we leave the trees and come back on the ground. Because now, at the time of the apes, there were big forests, but now the forests have receded. We have savanna. This person, our ancestors, had to move out of the forest and adapt to savanna.
So the adaptation moved from fours to twos?
Definitely, because you need to see. There's the grass. There are no trees. So you need to be in an elevated position such that you can see where you are going. There's also running. You need to run and hunt. Basically, you cannot run and hunt in trees. So you need to develop something that can actually give you that advantage of chasing of the food that you want. Basically, that's hunting. And also there are so many things that comes with the changing from the trees. There's also the focus, the eye focus on how you are running and what you are focusing on. So basically, this was a very important fight. Then we have the black skull. Basically, the name we give it is the black skull. It's Australopithecines. When I mean Australopithecines, we are the Homo species. Up to here, we are Homo species. This side, we are Australopithecines. But you can see there's some relationship between them, and there are features that we have that we got from this. Because at 6 million, that's when the gorillas, the chimps, and these other guys diverted. Homo evolved to the current Homo sapiens that we are. But at this time period, we have Australopithecines, and we had like 3 types. There was the South African Australopithecine, robustus. There was the Australopithecines from Ethiopia, and the Australopithecines that were from East Turkana. Basically, when you talk of East Turkana, Tanzania, this is the famous Sinjanthropus boise, that was discovered by Ruisliki and Mililiki. And once they discovered this
is the exact one.
These are replicas. You can imagine we just have one. And it's rock and key. We do casting. We have a casting department. We have also 3D printouts. Basically, there is no way we can display the original. You lose it, you lose the whole evidence. And it's just one. Every other skull you see here is just one. You lose it, you lose the evidence, you lose it. So it's under rock and key. And actually, to see it, you have to have a letter from the Minister of Culture to see it, literally to get to the fort. But basically, what we want to do, it's the replica, just the way it was discovered, because basically they are discovered in small pieces, then they are pieced together. There's the jigsaw puzzle to bring all this together, then it can bring the face and all that, so that you can know what species, and you can do all the analysis that you want to do. But basically, we don't display the originals, we display the casts. So this is Sinjanthropus, and the good thing about the discovery of this thing, you can imagine, this is the father of Richard Leakey. Ruiz Leakey discovered this. Richard comes in Turkana, then he discovers a similar thing. The child, like basically, but it's the same time period, one in Tanzania, one in Uganda, in Kenya. And now there was a wide range that they would move from East Turkana, from Kenya, Tanzania, and all that. And the other thing about they had advantages, they had disadvantages. One of their disadvantages, or let me begin with the advantages. They invested so much in tooth. That's why you remember Nutcracker Man. Singe was known for nutcracker, like breaking of the seals. To break those seals, he needed a mandible or teeth that are big enough with the surface area to break the seeds. It comes with the expense. He needed muscles that could hold this jaw. So, with the big muscles, it limits how much his brain can grow. So that's one limitation. That's one theory that we have of why did they go extinct. And we, the Homo species, progressed. And we outcompeted them to extinction. It's one thing that, or one theory that comes, or one answer we have for that is they invested so much on the big jaw and big teeth at the expense of the brain. And the other thing that after we discovered, this is Homo habilis. Homo habilis associated to tool making. Remember, in Homo habilis, tool maker. That's the name it was given because of tool maker. But we discovered the oldest stone tool. This is a Lomekwi stone tool. We are talking of 3 million. These guys were making stone tool. And we associated tool making to Homo habilis. And the reason as to why we associated brain development is because of the stone tools. We had this narrative that if you have stone tools, you increase your diet range, the protein range increases, and in it, your brain has to develop. But we consider these people, let me call them our ancestors or our brothers, because we are in the different species, that they were not tool making up until when we discovered the oldest stone tool in the world. We are the only, Turkana is the only, Lomekwi, we call it an industry. It's a complete industry. All those are different industries. So Lomekwi stone tool listed the case whether these guys could make stone tool. And as we talk, right now we are excavating. We have a site we are excavating where we have the ad, a complete ad. It hasn't been found before. We had to publish it, but it's the only area that now we can say that they used stone tools, because we have we have fingers that have pathology out of using stone tool. So basically, it tells you that also these guys were making stone tools, but they were making crude stone tools. So there's development of technology. If you look at the odd one, then there's the whole range of development of stone tool as per the brain develops. You decide the other needs that you need. You need like hand axe. These guys didn't make hand axe, but when Homo erectus could make hand axe. These guys didn't make hand axe, but you need a wide ledge with your brain and with your needs. You have fire now. You want to hand, you want a spear. So you have to, there's that cognitive ability. What do I need? Then you go to the resources that you have. It's the stones, and you develop, you make a stone that is an industry by itself. And it was very important industry of what makes us different from other animals. That thing that people say that we control other things, we give it, and we should appreciate this guy, the Homo erectus. This is Turkana boy, the famous Turkana boy. Man, this we appreciate so much. This is the only species that left Africa and populated Asia, Europe, China, and all other areas. He is a person, or let me say, the species that had the capability of making stone tool. Making stone tool, making fire, and even at 12, we suspect, or we can say that he was between 8 years to 13 years. Very taller than me, taller than this guy, typically almost the same size as this guy. And at 13 years, you can imagine, he was fully grown, premature, almost mature, and he had some diseases, as we can check the backbone and all that, and somebody needed to take care of him. But what am I saying is that at 13 years, they were fully grown human beings. At 13, our kids, we give birth to premature kids. Why do we do that? We invested so much in brain size, brain development, at the expenses of giving birth, the birth canal. How do you push a big-headed thing? These guys could just give birth today, and at 1 year, they can feed for themselves. But now we invested so much in brain at the expense of giving birth. So there were some changes even in the pelvis of Australopithecines and Homo, because we want to engineer another way to accommodate for a big-brained kid. And this big-brained kid had to be born premature so that we allow, so that he can push the mother canal, and once outside, he can develop and accommodate the big brain that we want to survive. So basically, that's what happened, and that's where Homo sapiens came in. Now, this is Eria Springs. The reason was why it's missing bits of the frontals and the face is that a couple was picnicking. They were on a picnic. They picked it at Eria Springs, just like today. Eria Springs is an area that people go and picnic, and they brought it in a basket with so many other hard axes and whatever, brought it to the museum, and it had lost this. But there's something that you should know. Homo sapiens, at 100,000, we don't share any DNA with these guys. What does that tell you? Yet, we share DNA with all the people, the whites that you see. Richard Leakey has done his DNA and mine, and at 70,000, we were all here. There's one thing that doesn't change, the maternal DNA. Whatever you have will be given to your daughter. Not me, but to your daughter and to all the, it doesn't change, it doesn't change. So after looking at that DNA, we don't have this DNA. We coexisted with them, our credit coexisted, but they went extinct. Basically, they are not anymore. You can see when they had some sort of a prodigy, which we don't have. They are featuring some features that are associated with the Homo erectus, but they are no more. We don't have those features, but they lived. They have gone extinct. We have the Asian, the dwarfs from Asia. What do you call them? floriensis, Homo floriensis, they have been around. At 30,000 years, they went extinct. That's why even we are not displaying, because we are going. That's we don't have, man. Look, it takes just less years to go extinct. We coexisted with these things, but we have survived. By the way we are handling nature and the environment and all that, we are going extinct. We are in the last part of human evolution. Nature is done with that. That's the worst thing that I can tell you. That's why even we are not displayed modern man, because we are done and we are gone, because we have messed up the environment. And the other thing that would be important is she can talk about the stone tools. I can give her that opportunity. Okay. Then she can tell you about the stone tools and the technology. Sure. Thank you. My name is Martin Krinya from Turkana Basin Institute. I'm the corrections manager. And the Turkana Basin Institute is a multidisciplinary institute that deals with scientific research, innovation, and community engagement. We offer bursaries, we offer facilities for researchers at good rates, and accommodation and all that. So basically we are here today just to let the people know the value of what they have out there. That's all. Thank you.
I'm Omondi Evelyn Apondi, a curatorial assistant at Turkana Basin Institute, and we are here to showcase what we do at TBI. So as my colleague has already talked about the evolution of the human history, I'm going to talk about some of the stone tools that were found associated with some of the hominins at certain time period. First and foremost, we have the oldest stone tool that has ever been recovered from the Turkana Basin, and it appears that it's the oldest stone tool in the world. It dates back to 3.3 million years ago. This is a cast, but we have the original at the National Museums of Kenya because it's that precious. That is why we cannot.
What are stone tools?
Stone tools are the kind of tools that they were using in processing foods. The hominins, as their brain developed throughout time, they started engineering. Their brain started engineering some stone tools that they could use to process food. Yeah, so at 3.3 million years, these are the kind of the stone tools that they were able to manufacture at that particular period of time. But as it progressed, the brain evolution progressed through time, they started advancing their skills in stone making. So at 2.6 million years ago, which was earlier believed that the oldest stone tools were first produced like in 2.6 million years, but that narrative changed when they discovered 3.3 million years at a site called Lomekwi in West Turkana. So these are the stone tools that they are called Oldowan tools, and they are attributed to Homo habilis. A Homo habilis is a hominin that evolved around 2.3 million years ago, also called a handyman due to the use of stone tools. Yeah. So progressing through time, we have three stages of stone tool evolution. We have first, which I've just talked about, the Lomekian stone tool, and then the Oldowan stone tool, which was used between 2.6 million years to about 1.7 million years ago. So as we progress into the Pleistocene period, they improved their skills and started reshaping and retouching these stone tools. Also, they used different rock materials to prepare these stone tools. So these are hand axes, which were developed by some of the hominins. The Turkana boy at about 1.5 million years ago. The stone tools were manufactured, they started manufacturing Acheulean stone tools at about 1.76 million years ago, and they used it until 0.13 million years ago. So most of the stone tools that you see here are found associated with Homo erectus species, which we have Homo rudolfensis, Homo Turkana boy, and also Homo ergaster, which belong to the same family of Homo erectus. And as you can see from here, we are having different stone tools. they were being used for various reasons. Like we have a harpoon here. This one was used for fishing. Yeah, you could see like if they were to take a pickle and then it would get stuck and that is it. Yes. So we are not just displaying. Exactly. Yeah. So we are not just displaying all this, we are also having some of applied science projects that is also taking place at Turkana Basin. We have a hydroponic farming, the aquaculture. We plant vegetables and a lot, fish. So maybe you guys should visit Turkana Basin and explore. We are free to collaborate with anybody. We also offer scholarships for students who are going to high school, and also there is also a master program offered at Turkana University College in collaboration with the TBI, and they take like three students per year to study masters in human evolutionary biology. Other than that, we have a lot of community engagement that is empowering young girls, and also we are soon introducing another business unit which will be empowering some local businesses within the community.
Only the girls, not the boys.
Even the boys for the masters.
Now,
When I'm talking about girl empowerment, it's about girl hygiene. And we also engage with the community health, providing support with in different hospitals within the Turkana. So that's all we have for today. Welcome to Turkana Basin.